Hey everybody, I'm Philip. And today, right now, I'm going to watch a horror movie called Speak No Evil. It has been on my radar for a minute, but I was watching a really good video on YouTube about social anxiety horror, and a few movies came up during it that I hadn't seen yet. So I was like, I need to get on this because I want to finish watching the video because I didn't get to finish. So yeah, I don't know anything about this at all as I prefer it. I am like militantly anti-spoiler. The less I know about something, the better. I want to go into it as blind as possible for like just the authenticity of the moment, as I've said in many, many, many videos. Yeah, so let's go ahead and uncork the bottle on Speak No Evil. Yes, let's go. Okay, it's foreign. Cool. Man, this is messing with my vertigo. Ooh.
I want to toast to Italy, of course, to the food, of course, and to love.
When you go into something spoiler-free, it's unraveling the mystery of what's going on. What is this about?
Like a bunny? Uh, for kids? And, okay. Well, ciao.
That reminds me of being in Spain trying to explain fan. I'll tell that story if I remember after.
Anden så fat med sit næb og hendes hår og træk hende ned i dammen, så hun druknede.
Dang.
Even though it's been a while, we would love to invite you to come to visit us. Det er måske lidt lang tid at være hos nogen, man ikke rigtig kender.
Yeah. The creepy music overlays normal things.
Hvor lang tid tager det? Det tager, hvad tager det, 8 timer?
Jeg tror faktisk, du har gjort det på måske 7.
That must be nice. Drive 8 hours and be yes, jealous of Europe.
Hvad er det værste, der kan ske? Nemlig!
What's the worst that can happen? I think we're about to find out.
He's been cooking all day. He's making wild boar.
Wow!
Come on.
He's making wild boar for the vegetarian.
Wow. It's coffee cups.
Wow, it's coffee cups. Oh my god. Huh.
Alba is what you call congenital aglossia, meaning basically he's born without a tongue.
It's a windmill. The music.
But the kids are going as well, right? No, tonight is without kids.
Nah. Nah.
And fish is not meat?
Of course, but it's better for the environment.
Oh boy. I have that knot in my stomach, just like, where's this going? White people dancing. The universal language. Oh, good God. This is so uncomfortable.
Dinner is on us. Oh, that's so kind. Thanks, man. Thanks.
This is so uncomfortable. Whoa. Oh, I hate the sound of kissing so much. Kissing is like spaghetti. When you're eating it, the sounds don't bother you. When you're not eating it, oh my God. I know I've weird auditory things, and the sound of kissing is one of them. I know it's weird. I know it's weird. Are they being watched? What's going on? Uh-oh. Oh, shit. I'm not enjoying this movie. It's not a bad movie. I'm just not enjoying it. They're not going to make it to the car. Oh, they made it out. Okay. Wasn't expecting that.
Han er der ikke.
Oh, no. Ah. You got out. You all got out. I would have searched the entire car before I went back there.
That makes us believe that it's the best that we go home.
Just leave. You don't owe anyone anything.
And if there are things you don't eat, you just could have told us.
She did.
Where were you?
This is so manipulative.
Louise, I mean, Agnes kept calling.
You don't owe them an explanation. Just leave.
There's nothing we can do now to change the way you have felt during these past few days.
Just go!
And it truly breaks my heart.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Potteklote schaar. Is a scissor.
Don't split up.
What kind of music do you like?
I listen to, all kinds, like...
I love that all kinds is the universal answer to that question. They're feeling awkward and guilted into doing things that... Yeah, man. I'm waiting for this shoe to drop.
Er du okay?
Yeah.
It's good that we have a doctor in the house.
I'm not a doctor.
No,
I'm unemployed. I've never worked, but I don't believe in working.
Karen, heb je beluisterd?
And it gets weird again.
Wil je ophouden met dat geluid? Alsjeblieft. Ik word er een beetje gek van.
Stop telling my daughter what to do.
For real.
Hey, luister naar die muziek, man. Hier. Stapjes 1, 2, 3, 4. Hou eens je mond, Abel. Hou eens op met dat gejammer. Okay, stop, just please stop it.
Yep. There's the turn. There's the turn. That poor kid. Good God. Damn. Should have left when you had the chance. And they know where you live. They sent a postcard to you. That's what he wanted you to do.
Ja.
Toch squeeze the vest.
Damn it. He should have told his wife what was going on. Who was the babysitter guy? Now that I think about it.
Thanks for the call. I'm glad you agreed to meet us up on the road.
Should have told your wife.
As long as you do as we say, it's gonna be fine.
How did these two people find each other? Like, do you like to murder families and steal children? I also like to murder families and steal children. Jesus Christ. I don't like this. I just want this to be over.
Why are you doing this? Because you let me.
Yeah. Yep.
Take off your clothes.
And they're still letting him. They're still letting him. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't. Oh my god. The scene with Agnes in the back seat, and just everything after that was just like shell shock. I needed some time to compose myself, and it wasn't enough, I don't think. But with like most things in my life, I think if I just talk through it, uh I'll calm myself. I need to calm myself down. I walked outside. It's like 5 in the morning. Just let the cool air calm me down. My head is throbbing. I don't do stress very well. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know that with my back and neck condition and how fragile I am. Those last 15, 20 minutes were tough. Thank God it was 5 a.m. and the neighbors didn't hear me. I hope they didn't hear me standing in the backyard just weeping. I am very, very lightheaded. I am very dizzy. I wasn't always like this. But I can usually handle most horror, but social anxiety horror is the hardest for me to watch. And the traffic is going by. Like I said, it's getting early. I've said for a long time that empathy is a blessing and a curse. I love being empathetic. I do. I try not to be one of those, I'm such an empath kind of people. I can put myself in situations. I can put myself on someone's shoes. I can feel what they feel. And it might sound crazy. And I'm not saying it to be like, look how cool I sound or anything like that. It's a heightened sense of emotional peril when stuff like this happens. It's a heightened emotional state anyway, with stuff like heavy stuff, uncomfortable stuff, and horrible stuff. I have a hard time watching children be treated poorly. I have a hard time watching children be abused. I have a hard time watching children be subject to absolute horror. And the scene with her in the backseat was fucking tough. And the whole movie, I'm just like, go. Like, I may get called abrasive or an asshole by people, because if I am 100% subscribing to the notion, I 100% subscribe to the notion that I'm so dizzy. I feel like I'm fighting off a panic attack. I 100% subscribe to the notion that listen to your instincts, listen to your intuition, your gut. And they had warning sign after warning sign after warning sign. Like, they weren't subtle that they were bad people or something was off. And in the beginning, that poor boy was trying to warn the dad there's been situations in my life where I had this very strong sense of impending doom. This might be a little too much information, but to give you an idea, I'll give you a real life story. When I lived in Phoenix, my ex-husband and I were in an open relationship. And it was a very successful one. There was no jealousy, no bitterness, no none of that. We were like the textbook, case for that can work for some people. It's not for everybody, obviously. And so we would go and see other people. And it wasn't always, lascivious. It wasn't always sexual. I don't know. It was just, we had our own friends. We had mutual friends. We had what we called second boyfriends. Like we were together. We were very much in love. But we also had our own boyfriends. I know it sounds weird. I know. It worked. We were together for almost 13 years. It took an act of God. And I made a whole, I talked about it in the What's Wrong With Me series, Baker's Dozen, if you want to know about it. This is just, I just met some guy at his apartment. And we were watching Battlestar Galactica. And I knew that I wasn't interested. And I'm not one to lead somebody on. I'm not going to be like, I don't like you, that kind of thing. I was just, he had like a couch. I was sitting in a recliner. I went to go to the bathroom. I came back and he had set his backpack in the recliner. And was like, hey, join me on the couch. And I'm like, I didn't do that. And I didn't say that, but that's what that's like internal me in my head. And I did. And the minute I sat down, it was like I sat in tainted space. It was like the air was thicker. And maybe it's paranoia, whatever. My heightened sense of awareness told me I was not the first person to sit in this space and feel what I felt. I couldn't tell you who or whatever. I know none of that. I'm not like clairvoyant or anything like that. But my instincts are very strong. They always have been. They have saved me from so many different things in my life. This is one. He asked me if I wanted something to drink. I declined. He went to go make one anyway. Normally, I don't pay attention. Well, I do, but normally I don't go out of my way to like, oh, you're making me a drink. I'm going to watch you as you pour it, that kind of thing. But I'm also, I think, pretty good at being subtle and using subterfuge. So I reached forward to the coffee table to grab the magazine off the top of, there's a pile there. As I was reaching, I kind of glanced over and like, he was a tall dude and he was making the drinks, but his back was completely shielding. And he could have just been pouring. But my instincts at that moment were saying, run, 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 run. So I knew in the moment 2 things needed to happen. 1, I needed to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible. Because I was sitting in what felt like dead man's space. And I know that's very, I can't think of the word. I know it sounds very, like much. The word's there, but my brain is just like, whew. I had the thought, run, 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 run. And I always listen to my instincts. But I also knew, too, that I was in this, I can't even describe it. Like, I could have sat anywhere else on the couch. Like, if he'd sat where I was at the end, had me sit in the middle or on the other side or whatever, I may have been, like, I was already feeling kind of like, I was kind of like, nah, I'm just cool with hanging out with this dude, watch some Battlestar, and cool. I'll be like, hey, we'll hang out again some other time, and we won't. But because like his vibe just wasn't very cool. Because it was, like I said, it was never always about hookups. So sometimes it was about just making a new friend, and I made lots of new friends that way. I tried to be very personable, and I was very confident back before the accident. Very, very, very confident, and just very sure of myself. And this is a shell of what I once was. But the second thing I thought to myself was, we need to get out without any danger. Need to get out without escalating anything. The moment anything. This dude was taller than me, bigger than me. Like, he was Big dude. Not like muscly, he was just like a tall, like he was like 6'3", 6'4". I'm like 5'6.5". I'm a short guy. So he puts the drinks on the coffee table and asks if I need anything. And I say to him, I was like, I have a headache. Do you have any aspirin or any Excedrin or anything like that? He says, I have some in the bathroom. And I say, would you mind going to grab me some? He's like, yeah, no problem. Go and have a drink of your orange juice. Okay, thank you. He walks down the hall. I hear the bathroom open. I don't run. I walk quickly and in big steps silently. And I, like, big step, big step. I hear the medicine cabinet open. I turn the lock, open the door. And the minute the door went click as it opened, I hear down the hall. He lived in an apartment complex. I knew that once I got out, I'd be in public. It wasn't like a house in a neighborhood where you're not exactly safe, as we've seen in horror movies before. But I just threw the door open, and I heard, like, bang, 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 bang down the hall. And I just went out, and I walked very quickly. I didn't run until I heard him come out the door, and then I started running. And he just yelled, fuck you too. Walked back in and slammed the door. I ran all the way back to my car, drove the fuck home. Turns out, about a year later, I found out that he would roofie people and then them. And he had done it to 5 guys. I remember vividly when my friend told me. He was like, you saw this dude, right? I was like, yeah. Did you hear about him? No, what happened? I think about that sometimes because I have had bad experiences like that happen to me before. And that's nothing I want to get into right now. But that is an example of what's in here. So being highly empathetic and highly sensitive to the world around you can be a blessing, but also a hindrance. And it's not the first time, but it's like one of the most notable times. One day I'll tell you the story about how I almost died and how I averted that because I listened to my gut. His name was John. Like, I remember so much. I could sketch him. His face is burned into my head. Yeah, I was much more cautious after that, which you would be anyway. But I never met people at their home first. It was after that if I met anybody new, even as a friend, if they would just want to come over and hang out, would go out of the way to make sure they saw me pour a drink. Or they could go get it themselves. Always keep bottles and cans of things, if you can. That's what I did. Because I didn't want to put anyone in a situation where they would feel uncomfortable. But also, I didn't want to raise any red flags just based on their own heightened sense of awareness. I was never a threat to anyone. I know sometimes people don't vibe. I still can't say to this day if there was something in the orange juice. But I'll never forget the moment of just sitting on the last third of that couch and just the minute I sat into it, into something. So when I talk about empathy and following your instincts, there were so many examples in this movie and movies like this where it's just like, it's there. It's just go. So when you hear me telling these people in these movies to just go, run, get in the car, drive, fuck the rabbit. Because not only is that little girl traumatized, the writing for her is on the wall. She will not get to live a full life. But the fact that she made them turn, she didn't make them. Well, she was so distraught over not having the rabbit that the dad turned around. They were free. With an asterisk beside it. Because they knew their address. Because they sent them the postcard. So who's to say they wouldn't go there and... Or would it just be, hey, this one got away, let's go get the next one. From the technical side of things, acting was phenomenal. Really good. The wife, the good wife, was, God, kind of like my Patronus in the movie. Like, she was me. Like, I will be polite, but I have a limit. You need to have boundaries. You need to have boundaries. And then if you think about all the boundaries that were crossed, like, she's in the shower and the guy just comes in and takes a piss and then brushes his teeth while she's in there naked in the shower. Not only is that harrowing for a woman, because how many women have been in that situation? Raise your hand. In a situation where your bodily autonomy and your safety is, for Christ's sake, you're taught from like the youngest of ages to be careful around men and boys. And she was vulnerable. She was naked in the shower. And if you think about it, they're already dead to him anyway. He can do or say or act any way he wants. And that poor kid, Abel. I could go down a rabbit hole of growing up abused and mistreated, and my mom would rage like the dad did, but worse. Much, much worse. Because at least he wasn't on cocaine. But as I was saying, technically it was good. It was acted well, it was shot well. I think if I did knock it in any way, I think the music was a little overbearing. Like, there'd just be like, here's a shot of the garden or something. It'd be like, whee! It was like normal shot. I like when movies build tension with the movie and not the score. I don't mind a tense score, but build towards the tension. Don't force the tension on the audience. And I get why they do it. They want to keep you unsettled. They don't want you to be comfortable. They want you to know something's wrong. But I think you can do that in more effective ways. And I think with a script like this and acted the way it was, you don't really need that score, because that tension and unease, if you let the tense moments linger, they will speak louder and with more force than any orchestra can. It wasn't all the time, but there was a few times where I was kind of like, dial it back a bit. I love me foreign horror. It's what rekindled my love for horror in the late 90s. And it has continued to nourish me all these years later. I had to swear off French horror for a while because, good God, good God, I'll watch them. I didn't know this was, foreign, but I'm glad it was. There's always just a nice style and look. Like, you could just see the countryside and the locale. It's not American. The houses don't look American. The roads look different. They have like the lines that are different. I like that. I want to be there. I want to live it. Adopt us. He's not here right now, but pretend Justin is right here looking pretty and adopt us. Let's go ahead and go to my notes. And yeah.
Philip's notes.
The car ride in the beginning when the bad couple was arriving was very like this, and I've been having vertigo and motion sickness issues for about 4 or 5 months now. So that was triggering it pretty bad. I was like, oh, please stop. Please stop. And at first I thought this was Italian horror, because it was like the vacation was in Italy. So I was like, hey, Italian horror, okay. And then the dad has to go look for the bunny. The little girl habitually loses it. And the father is walking around in a foreign country to him, trying to say like, bunny. And it reminded me of when Justin and I went to Portugal and Spain for his cousin's wedding. And we were invited. We were all invited. Being the American that I am, I sleep with fan noise. Oscillating fans, box fans. There are 3 fans in the bedroom, plus an air purifier, plus the air conditioner in the summer. I know it's overkill. I like to be surrounded by a wall of noise because I sleep so lightly. Because of my condition, I don't sleep deeply like normal people do. When we're at the hotel in Spain, they didn't have a fan. They didn't have like any kind of fan at all. And so we went to various stores and shops, and we went to this like huge multi-level mall that was close to the hotel we were staying at. And it was a 3-hour ordeal of trying to explain ventilado. And I had to go like, ooh. That's what it reminded me of, going like bunny. I'd be like, ooh, trying to explain what a fan was. Because they were thinking like fan. And I'm like, no, whoo, fan. They're like, oh, floor 3, go floor 3. No, floor 5, floor 5. Oh, you go on floor 3. We're just at floor 3. It was a nightmare. We finally ended up finding one in some like touristy store. We ended up finding a little tiny desk fan. And I got it. And it was better than nothing. But man, yeah, that's what it reminded me of, the rabbit thing. And then the vacation people asked them to come visit. And I thought, ooh. Okay. And then we find out that the good wife is a vegetarian, well, pescatarian. And when they get there, he makes her eat some boar. I'm not gonna get on the vegan soapbox because I am, but boundaries, man. Like even if you don't agree with it, just respect someone else's. Like if I go into your house and you are a meat eating family, it's not my place to say anything. Yeah, that was kind of like red flags, man. Red flags here and there, here and there. And then we see later that the kid's tongue is cut out, reminding me of people under the stairs. And I thought, okay, they cut it out, didn't they? I didn't put it together that he wasn't their kid until a little bit later. Because the bad husband says that the boy was born without a tongue. And I thought to myself, but he felt the need to show it. It was a signal. And then they go out to eat at that roadhouse, and they had to leave their child with a strange babysitter. I would have noped out of there so damn fast. So damn Then we have the whole turn the music down scene, and it is just like, I am so uncomfortable. I'll keep it in the microphone. I am so uncomfortable in this movie. I'm in the car with you. I also want you to turn it down. And she says, like, turn the fucking music down. Yeah. But he is, obviously this is a game they have played for a long ass time. Holy crap. I talked about it earlier about him walking in on her showering and how, yeah. Interesting though that he never, because usually in movies and stuff, like the men will be sexually charged. You know, it's a new woman, it's the thrill, and they might get a little, like, even at the end of that, they made them strip naked, but never once did he really impose on her like that. So the thrill was in the kill and the kidnapping of the child, but never about anything sexual, which I thought was very interesting because it was about power and control. And the main reason, I'll get to in a sec, I just thought it was very interesting. He never showed any interest in her sexually. So, and we find out that he's unemployed. He lied about being a doctor because he was self-conscious, but he doesn't believe in working. And at the time I thought, how can you afford to go on vacation to Italy? I guess you use the money you stole I don't, man. And then here's where the notion that this isn't their son kicked in. When the dad was being abusive to Abel for dancing wrong, for having no rhythm, and the dad was getting increasingly angry, and the mom was just sitting there, okay with it. And I thought, no. Just like in instances where the game and the torture can involve sexuality, in instances of a man being abusive, not all the time, obviously, but often the wife, the mother, will want to be protective, but also complacent if she is also herself abused, which is almost always the case in these kind of relationships. The bad wife was not at all. She was fine with it. She didn't look uncomfortable. She was not, just none of it. And it was then I was like, that's not your kid. Like maternal instinct, you'd want to protect the child. And if you can't, you will show it. It will bother you. And I get, that's not 100% of the time, obviously. Everyone is different. Every mother is different. Some mothers don't have attachments to their children. In this instance, I was like, that's not your kid, is it? Yeah. And then the good husband goes into the back building where Abel first showed him that his tongue was cut out. trying to warn him. Yeah, it is full of luggage. It is full of postcards, pictures, and the eerie thing, the thing that just twisted my insides was seeing the pictures of the kids happy with their families and traumatized with the new people. Damn. And then I thought, as they were trying to get away, they know where you live, as I said earlier as well, but even if he didn't drive him off into the ditch, which that was, yeah, I think I just would have drove as fast as possible, and if a cop pulls me over, cool. Like, there are ways around situations, and I know when you're in the situation, like when the bad husband got out of the car to have a piss, and the keys are right there. And then the thing I referenced a few minutes ago, he asks, "Why are you doing this?" And the guy says, "Because you would let me." Kind of reminds me of The Strangers. Why I forget the exact wording, but it was like, why are you doing this? And the guy says, "You answered." That idea of social conformity and social anxiety, and as I said earlier, social anxiety horror is the worst for me. It just makes my skin crawl. And everything that happened to them because they let it happen. So when he says, "Because you let me," yeah. Like even to the end, they just let them do whatever they wanted. I keep hitting the mic. Like even to the end, get naked, walk down there. Like, were they going to escape that alive? No. But could they have done something? Yeah, and I understand being traumatized. I understand being resigned to your fate. But if you're going to make me get naked and then throw rocks at me, you're going to earn it. Like, I'm going to take my pound of flesh somehow. I'm very protective. Me and Justin were in that situation, and they did anything to him. I got my mama's temper. I have learned over the years to bury it so it does not consume me like it did her. I did not want to be her. I did not want to treat people the way she treated me. It's there. But in my adult life, I learned to control it. And I haven't had an outburst in decades. And I'm proud of that. But I'm telling you what, and I don't want to sound like King Badass, because I'm not. But if I was in that situation and Justin was in harm's way or going to be harmed and or worse, the ending to this movie would have been much different. Like, we may still have not gotten out of it, but we would not have walked the plank into the ocean. No. Absolutely not. And then they're told to strip naked, and the father, the husband, is, just weeping, crying, and the wife, the mother, is numb. Like, she's had her baby taken from her arms. She watched that happen to her, heard her screaming, the blood. Like, she knows. The dad knows more. Like, he should have told them, not them, her. Like, when they're driving, yes, it may be traumatic for the little girl, but let the mother know. That way, when they are all back together, she is also on high alert. Not just him. Because he's crumbling. She was more of a spitfire. She was more of the fighter. Give her ammunition for her gun. Again, they may not have made it out of there, but she would have known to be cautious. She would have known to be ready, and she wasn't. And then, yeah, they go down there and in the little pit area where they screamed. Interesting that he took him to the place he's going to kill them. Kind of a little Shakespearean moment there. And then they stone them to death. All right, I have calmed down a bit. The room is not like. This was tough. Did I like the movie? Yes. Was it uncomfortable? God, yes. Absolutely. Would I recommend this movie? I don't know. It would come with a caveat, like, be ready. Like, I don't like to spoil things. So this is one of the times we're going into something spoiler free. Ooh. But I wouldn't want to be told, hey, be ready, because it's tough. Because then I know I'm expecting a tough movie. You know what I mean? So it kind of like ruins the mystery of what you're about to watch. And I could have prepared myself for a tough movie. This got increasingly more uncomfortable, dread. Oh no. Ugh. Yeah. The ride isn't as real if you expect the bumps in the road. If that makes any sense. I could have come up with a better analogy, I guess, but you know what? I am. This is the first movie in a long ass time where I almost turned it off. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm roasting in here now because there's been no fan or anything on to record. So as always, I don't have a fancy outro. So I will simply say thank you for watching. Thank you for going on the journey. Thank you for letting me. Thank you for being here while I processed this in real time, and for hearing the stories and all that stuff. Justin once told me that I should write a book, but nope, I'm done. I'm done talking. I need to charge the phone if it's even still recording. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which hopefully won't be as freaking traumatizing and soul crushing. So until then, goodbye.